want to thank everybody for coming on this cold night. You guys are great, and you are the people who are going to help us get, I hope everybody here in the room agrees with my bias that a goal that we have to get to is to get universal coverage of for healthcare in Colorado. If you have a different perspective, you're welcome to be here and voice that as well. But there certainly is a bias on this panel that I think we are looking at the path to universal health care and how to get beyond Obamacare, how to use that as a foundation and to work from that and take it the next step. You know, I have had these incidences with heroes moving on lately, and my last one was Pete Seeger. And I was fortunate enough years ago to interview Pete Seeger at the Olympics in Salt Lake City. And we talked about a lot of things, but one of the things that he emphasized at the end was his belief that the way change is going to come in our country and in our world is not by any one great leader or by any great party or any great big organization that can affect a lot of change, but through thousands and hundreds of thousands of little organizations and little groups of people who are committed to doing the work that makes the change that has to come across for our society. You know, and he at that time he also sang me a song that I won't burden you with, but it was a verse from a song he was working on about Dr. King, and who was always a hero of his and was always somebody so important to him. And one of the things I loved about King's lectures and writings was his belief that government could exercise compassion, and that that was a responsibility of government in his belief. And I think healthcare is a place where we see that ideal able to come into being. And my ethic has always been to believe in a society that cares most about its least powerful and acts first on behalf of its most vulnerable. And that's what I see as the goal with both Obamacare and with an attempt to get beyond that to universal health care. To address all those, I mean, we have a significant number of uninsured currently in Colorado. We're going to hear, I think, a little bit about how we're knocking that number down. We're probably not going to get that number to zero anytime soon. But that's our goal, and to take care of those most vulnerable people who can't get that insurance on their own through other efforts. So we have a fantastic panel here, but I do want to introduce first one of our hosts. We've got two hosts for the evening, and one is the DU Law Dems. This is not a party-oriented event, but the DU Law Democrats have been a great partner in hosting events like this to educate their community. They are chock full of preparation tonight for, I think, some law boards, so none of them were able to be here. But they're a long-standing organization, one of the oldest organizations on the campus. I think they're over 100 years old, and they offered to have the event over at the DU Law School, and I'm sure there'll be some things over there with them again. So we really appreciate the DU Law Dems offering to host us and sticking with us as a co-sponsor throughout here. And then the great organization that stepped in, the Peace and Justice Committee from the Mountain View Friends Meeting House where we are right now. So I want to introduce Paula VanDusen from the Peace and Justice Committee from the Mountain View Friends Meeting House.
By the way, is Owen Perkins. Introduce himself. And Owen is one of two candidates for state representative who are in the room for House District 2 in November. And the other one is Aaron Silverstein right over here. And there's another one, Alec Barnett. And he is So welcome to Mountain View Friends Meeting House. For those of you who haven't been here before, Friends with a capital F is another word for Quakers. So this is our Quaker Meeting House. Quakers, for our 400 years in existence, have worked probably most notably, or most people know that we worked really hard to abolish slavery. Over 100 years it took, but we worked on it. Prison reform. We worked on nuclear disarmament, promoting dialogue and diplomacy over warfare, We've promoted nuclear disarmament. We've promoted single-payer universal health care, many other things, so you get the idea.
Y'all make some good meals.
Sorry for not introducing myself. I didn't think about that. But and welcome to House District 2. You're all in House District 2 here. And this is where we meet right now, the House District 2 Democrats.
Actually, they're in Senate District 32.
And we're in Senate District 32. So we got double strength here tonight. We want to focus, and I'm going to move on to our panel, but really want to focus on this ideal. Paula mentioned, the 100-year effort, more than 100-year effort to abolish slavery that the Quakers played a critical role in. And there's so many journeys that we've seen that have taken so long and have at times seemed impossible and have been achieved. So I've been encouraged by some of these long-earned, long-fought-for triumphs to believe that something like universal health care, as hard as it may seem to get there and as distant as it may seem at times, is an achievable goal. And I think, we know a few of the top reasons are that universal health care would save money for Colorado. It would save lives without question. And it's the right thing for a society like ours to be doing. And so I think with that in mind, we want to look at, I would start with Lindy Hinman, who is here a lot. We advertised that Patty Fontenot was going to come, who's the Chief Executive Officer, Executive Director for the Colorado Health Exchange.